violence.
Shit. Yo, yeah, goddamn, hey, YouTube. I mean, the PlayStation service boot me out, bro. I said I done said it several times. I think I'm just stopped using the PlayStation to stream now. And you know, it just is what it is. Can't use the PlayStation no more. That shit don't want to work.
And getting into some
plenty enough problems that they need their president to focus on. You know what? Instead of a wall, that wall ain't gonna stop them.
If there was one thing for which Donald Trump was judged and damned, it was his constant reference to, it's going to be a beautiful wall, going to build a wall. Talk about it all the time. I remember then thinking, why does he keep going on about this wall for? It seems like he's really emphasizing its significance. Well, now, that very wall is being used in Kamala campaign videos. That very wall is going to continue to be funded. That very wall is becoming almost central to Kamala's message as she campaigns. Do these people have any principles at all? And do they, in the case of Kamala, have the ability to communicate publicly? Have you seen her claiming that 220 million people died in America from the pandemic? That's nearly all of America. That's 2/3 of them. It's a country of what, 330 million Americans? If 220 million died, that would be almost everyone. And doesn't that show you the heights of hysteria that were achieved during that period? You could call it a slip of the tongue. It happened once, but it happened several times. And in that slip, you have the pure Freudian truth that that's how they were perceiving reality then. They were selling it as a pandemic. So if you're a person who still thinks like, I can't vote for the Republican Party, I can't vote for Trump, look at what you're voting for. Look at what you're being invited to believe in. Walls are good now. 220 million people died. It's an extraordinary propagandist spectacle, and it's time to awaken from it. First of all, let's have a look at Kamala publicly talking about the number of people that died during COVID, and you will see from this short compilation exactly why she's not trusted in interview situations or debates without considerable control being guaranteed first.
We're in the middle of a crisis caused by this pandemic that is a public health crisis. We're looking at over 220 million Americans who just in the last several months died. We're in the midst of a public health epidemic that has taken the lives of over 220 million Americans in just the last several months.
How did you make that error? 220 million people. And indeed, is it even an error? Or part of a concerted attempt to create hysteria? You know now that Zuckerberg has admitted that Facebook did censor at the behest of the deep state. At the time you talked, of course not. We would never, ever ask social media platforms to censor and prioritize our messaging. Just imagine the reverse of this. Imagine for a moment if you discovered that Donald Trump had been talking to Zuckerberg and demanding that he censor information that was somehow detrimental to his intentions and campaigns. How would the legacy media use that? How would that balloon into further hysteria? And how do you feel if you are a person that's considering voting for the Democratic Party about the wall? Are walls good now? And if walls are good now, how come walls were so bad then?
I just had to share that on my Facebook. This shit right here.
Up to this headline in the morning from Axios. Quote, Kamala Harris flip-flops on building the border wall. Now, it included, by the way, that bill, border wall funding, addressing staffing shortages, better technology at the southern border, and clamp down on asylum claims. Now, Kamala Harris has leaned into this bill recently, in part to try to pin it on Donald Trump, who killed it earlier this year. For example, here was Harris at the Democratic National Convention.
I refuse to play politics with our security, and here is my pledge to you. As president, I will bring back the bipartisan border security bill that he killed, and I will sign it into law.
But Republicans point to Harris's past opposition to the border wall and that she was a very vocal critic while she was in the Senate.
Okay, and you might be aware of the complexity around that bill because it was tacked on to further funding of various wars, in particular the Ukraine-Russia war that caused a lot of consternation and doubt. But here's Kamala herself talking about walls pretty negatively, actually. Here she is on The View. She don't seem that into walls.
This issue is about a vanity project for this president.
Right.
And it is a problem of his own making. And listen, when I travel this country, folks have plenty enough problems that they need their president to focus on instead of a wall that, by the way, because I was a prosecutor for many years, including the Attorney General of California, I specialize on transnational criminal organizations.
Yeah.
That wall ain't gonna stop them.
No.
We don't need to build a wall. This is a crisis of his own making. And by definition, just plain speak, basic English language definition, it is not an emergency. What's going to end up happening is that he will end up, without any question, if he proceeds, we're going to be looking at a situation where in particular homeowners and landowners in places like New Mexico and Texas are probably going to look at government taking their land. We're looking at military resources being focused again on the president's vanity project instead of focused on real national security issues. It's the president's vanity project. You know, I mean, listen, if we deconstruct, get the pun, deconstruct wall.
Don't do interviews. Don't do any live interviews. You want that mic mute button on. Aside from these quips and cheap shots, do you not have concerns if you're a person that's considered voting for the Democratic Party, who still believe that they're the goodies? Does it not worry you that there appear to be no permanent policies? Does it not worry you that they are advocating for forever wars? Does it not worry you that there's continual hypocrisy in almost every area of policy? How do you account for the fact that people of integrity like Bobby Kennedy and Tulsi Gabbard, anti-establishment figures like Bobby, and I would say decent figures of the establishment, like Tulsi Gabbard, are joining Trump's campaign. And all that's left here in this movement is a
Try OBS Studio. It's free. You can stream to all platforms at once. It takes a bit of learning curve though. Did you text that to me? Text that to me, bro. OBS. Get an old laptop with a 8 gig of RAM and HD UBS cam. That's all I need. This election is already out of hand. Because, bro, they trying to steer it so fucking hard, dog. They trying to steer it too hard. I don't see why people don't realize that Trump is the better. In this case, this is why I'm going to vote. Because I always felt like you're choosing the lesser of two evils. And I look at it because these motherfuckers lie so hard in your fucking face. And then they try to tell you they not lying. Trump, he a businessman. So he gonna tell you he said that shit live on that first presidential debate. Yeah, damn right I work the system, bitch. You got laws and regulations in place that allow me to work the system. I'm work the system. What the fuck you think? You and all your friends and all your homies do the shit. I'm not gonna do it. You dumb as fuck. You don't want people to work the system? Change the regulations. Make different laws. But you won't. Because if you change shit, then all your corporate buddies and all your corporate interests, they lose out too. So don't sit here and point your finger at me talking about, oh, he won't show his tax returns and he won't do that. Bitch, I do this. I'm just doing the same thing you and your fucking homies do. Can't call me out. And that's when I was like, okay, this motherfucker kind of different. He gonna lie and cheat the system. But then he gonna tell you I'm lying and cheating the system. I like that. These other motherfuckers lie and cheat the system, lie and cheat you, but they won't ever fess up to that shit, not like he did. And this motherfucker is a old, rich asshole. That's who he is. He don't code switch. He don't try to change up. He never pretended to be somebody else or nothing. I appreciate that about him. There are a bunch of shit I don't like what this motherfucker be saying. And there are a few things I don't like. Some shit he keep talking about he gonna do. Like, he gonna fund Israel. This motherfucker is trying to back Israel to bomb Gaza off the fucking planet. But once again, with Tulsi and everybody else in there, man, hopefully they'll, man, we can just pull out of all of that shit, man. Let's stop funding all this shit, bro. Nothing. Y'all don't need none of our dollars no more. But in this situation, I don't think it's the lesser of two evils. I really don't. I really do think Trump is, and this is my opinion, this stream is for entertainment purposes only. Don't believe nothing I say. I think Trump loves America, and he feels like he's doing what's best for the people, not what's best for him. I really, 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 really do believe that, yo. And I really think that's why they try to kill this motherfucker, bro. Because everybody on the inside of the motherfucking deep state know that shit. His pocket's been fat, his pocket's been lying his whole fucking life. Since birth, this motherfucker had cake. He ain't never had to struggle and work his way, so he don't never feel that he ain't never felt like he was gonna lose everything, yo. His family has a dynasty. And he's been able to run it pretty good his whole entire adult life. So he don't need the system to get rich off of. If these motherfucking politicians weren't politicians, they couldn't do shit else. Well, no, because they use all their money to start their little side businesses and shit anyway. But I don't know. Y'all really gonna vote for this motherfucker? Yo? I feel weird even saying that shit, yo. I feel super weird. Just saying I'm voting at all. Haven't voted in fucking 25 years, but I'm in middle age and I see things different, man. I'm trying to keep my little small business going. I own a home. You know what I'm saying? I work for a non-profit organization that depends on like government funds and shit, yo. Like, and I'm not married, so I need everything in the world to be as good as it possibly can be. And I don't think the Democrats is going to do that.
A relatively hollow shell, a screen upon which the image.
Bro, you saying sadly, but it ain't sadly. You know? It's not, it's like I said, it is weird to say that, bro. But not sadly. He's like all American, bro. His life has been the American dream, you know, just a business owner with, you know, a lot of leisurely time in his life with, you know, TV shows and beautiful women. Like he like Hugh Hefner diet or whatever, you know. So he is who he is, but a person like that loves this fucking country, yo. That motherfucker ain't trying to move to Dubai or move to fucking London or some dumbass shit. That motherfucker have been in America for 78 years. That bitch love this country, bro. And Kamala been here since a kid, but still, you know what I'm saying? This bitch an opportunist. She ain't really built shit for herself. She worked the system to get the way she at. Play the fucking games and smooze with the right people. Get her right, do the blowjob. You know what I'm saying? Girl, how you do that? I got with the mayor, you know, give a little sloppy toppy. I'm in there. Got a position. You know, she hanging out with celebrities and socialites and shit. That bitch ain't build shit. Dude, the law school, why ain't start your own law firm or something? Anyway, let me stop, because I don't know a lot about this woman's background. I just know, like, the last 4 years I seen her in action. I don't like it. I don't like you. You're not doing a good job. And you have yet to convince me. And that's what I don't understand too. Like, when people listen to her, how are y'all convinced by this? And if they're not convinced by what she's saying, they just see she's tinted. That bitch got a little tint to her skin, and it's just like, oh, she a woman with tinted skin. We gotta vote for her. Why? Why you gotta vote for the dark skin or the woman of color? He said I'm voting for Goku and Vegeta, bro. Would you say that he would have been a better candidate over RFK? if RFK was still running like he did, and somebody put a gun in my head and said you gotta vote Trump, RFK, or Kamala, I would have voted RFK. I've already said that. I would have voted RFK. If I absolutely had to, he would have been my damn choice. I would go independent and just vote for his ass. That's why I can't relate to him. Been moving around these higher circles for the past 8 years. Can't trust none of them, left or right. Cause they ain't worry about that shit. Them higher circles is money. Nigga, they respect. It's classism now. It's classism. When you get that high, you a thousandaire, a millionaire, or a billionaire. Or you Warren Buffett. Which one? Alright, well, I'm gonna treat you like you a millionaire. You ain't no millionaire, nigga. Look, go grab my coffee. Entertainment purposes only, people. Do you read that? YouTube? I hope y'all understanding this political conversation we're having is just for fun. It's just for fun. No one here is a certified or a degreed analyst of politics or anything, so this is just a fun conversation for entertainment purposes only. And it will only ever be for entertainment purposes only. Don't take this shit serious. I got motherfuckers deleting goddamn comments on Facebook though. I'm going in with them arguments, bro. Motherfucker had to delete all his comments. Don't delete that shit, man. Keep that shit right there for everybody to read what you said, and then read what I said, and then read what you said after that, and then read what I said, and let's see who makes the most fucking sense. But you want to delete the fucking all the comments off of there like a little bitch. I seen that. I was reading that this morning, yo. Buffett stocks then soared up again. And Nvidia had another bump. Everybody thought Nvidia was losing steam for a second. I got to see if they made any announcements recently, because they said they had a good quarter. I had just bought another share of Nvidia stock today. As soon as I read that shit, like, yeah, it's only $120 a share, bro. Only $120 a share. I've been trying to rack up on them bitches every time I get a chance. Let me get another one of these Nvidia stocks. Cause if that shit do like it did the last time, and them shits go from like $400 to goddamn $1,200 or $1,400, bruh, I'm gonna sell a couple of them. I'm telling you now. If that shit ever happen again, and sell a few of them shits and pull about fucking 6,000 or 7,000 out, and then I'll put it back in there and just buy more Nvidia stock with it. $1 billion stock buyback? The fuck does that even mean? Why they trying to buy these stocks back? They're going, what? They trying to hit for different investors? I'm not giving up my shit, bro. I like this company. All my investments with Nvidia have doubled, bro. Whatever you put in, that shit just like double. Yeah, the new investors. Yeah, man, fuck them new investors, bro. Y'all did the damn buyback shit again, man. Cause when I first got on Nvidia, they stocks were like $400 something, bro. I ain't even buy. I just brought like partials. I brought partials twice, and then the third time I went ahead and finished it off, and I had the one whole share, and then that's when the fucking shit shot up, and they did the buyback thing, and now the share is only 125. Yeah.
Of centralized power can be projected using only relevant rhetoric, and rhetoric that isn't strong enough to even be able to sustain public appearances or spontaneous debate or open conversation or intelligent, rigorous, vigorous inquiry into the nature of the policies being put forth. You would think that when they're talking about wars, for example, they go, listen, it's a bit mad that we're...
You. Hey, what's up, man? What's going on? Hold on. You breaking up? You breaking up a little bit. I don't know if it's my phone or you. Hello? Can you hear me? I can hear you now. Yeah. No. I was just saying I couldn't hear what you were saying. Uh, Pretty good. Um, I've been getting a lot of work done on the house lately. I got some guys. I said I've been just chilling, man, trying to get this house together. I've been having like workers here for almost 2 weeks. I had to have the whole roof done, but that part is finished, and now they're putting the gutters on, and I think that may be the last thing, and then tomorrow the inspector is gonna come and check everything so they can take the permit down. Yeah, work was pretty good. We had a bunch of volunteers there today doing stuff around the office. So I didn't get stuck with two volunteers, but um, the one project that they were doing, um, it wasn't enough to have like everybody do that. So they asked me if I had something for two people to do, and I told them yeah. So we just like rearranged all my art supplies and all my STEM stuff for the kids program because we took one storage closet and well first we got a 18-wheeler container, like a storage container that we put in the back of our building, and we're going to use that for like big storage and stuff. So we took one storage room and put all of that stuff into the container outside, and then we had to move stuff from upstairs down into the storage room that we cleaned out, and so that's what I had the volunteers help me do today was move everything. And there's we got a bunch of shelving units, and so we just put things in bins and labeled everything and put everything on the shelves. And I had to teach my prison class this morning too, so my day was actually pretty full today. You know. All right, I'll chat with you later. All right.
Fund this wall now, because obviously you're well aware that during Trump's campaign we condemned, vilified, ridiculed and hated him because of this wall. Now listen to me, I don't even know whether or not a wall is the right thing to do. I mean, if you thought a wall was wrong then, isn't a wall wrong now? What's your perspective on migration? What do you think happens as a result of migration? How do you think it affects working communities? How do you think it affects a culture? Do you think that there are people benefiting from mass migration that are not explicit about the benefits that they receive? Do you think it could be one of the destabilizing influences that people refer to when they discuss the despair that's commonly felt throughout the world? The experience of blue-collar Americans, of working-class English people, of doubt and of despair, and a need for a new direction, a need to feel that democracy is indeed closer to them, that there is electoral meaning in this cycle of elections. Are you beginning to feel that perhaps something and maybe even malfeasance is being practiced by the legacy media, the use of lawfare, and candidates that appear to be willing to say anything to garner and manipulate particular demographics. I, as a person that was once on the other side of the conversation, am certainly willing to say I've got serious doubts about this centralist globalist movement, and I believe that populism and new alliances are going to be the future. But that's just what I think. Why don't you let me know what you think in the comments and chat? Give this video a like and a subscribe. Ensure that it succeeds in the algorithm, and consider becoming an Awaken Wonder. We make this content and much, much more every single day for you.
We can't continue to bring you this beautiful content without the support of our partners.
Listen, you know that we are partners with Rumble, and Rumble have gotten into the coffee game. Now, if you knew that your coffee had been tainted with pesticides and chemicals, sitting in bags for months, sitting in an old ball bag for months, probably with traces of mold, would you drink it? The answer is, of course you wouldn't. Even Jill Biden wouldn't drink a bag so contaminated. Most of the coffee we consume is stale, flavorless, and full of harmful substances that have a negative effect on our health. Rumble's 1775 coffee, on the other hand, is free from harmful substances and chemicals, whilst it's also rich in flavor. The beans are sourced from high-altitude farms in Bolivia, roasted weekly in Miami, and delivered fresh to your doorstep. As believers in freedom, buying 1775 coffee helps fight back against other coffee makers that don't even care about you none. Join the coffee revolution and brew rebellion with Rumble's 1775 coffee. It's dark, it's delicious, but there are a variety of blends available. All you got to do is go to 1775coffee.com/brand. Use the code BRAND right now to get your 15% off. You can click that, there's stuff available whether you're in the Awaken Wonder chat or in the Rumble chat. It's pretty bloody good coffee, I'll tell you that right now. And I say that as an Englishman for whom the date 1775 is a very painful thing to reflect on.
Damn. Damn. As an Englishman, 1775 is a painful date to reflect on. Y'all bitches lost.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live
You
stream.
lost.
Click
You
the
lost.
link right
You
here
ate
to watch the
tomato
next
sauce.
video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.
I ain't gonna hold you. I'm hungry as shit right now. I don't know. I think I had too much, one or two snacks too many before lunch, and so I really didn't eat all my lunch, and now I'm hungry as fuck, man.
So long to summer with up to 30% off during Raymore and Flanagan's Labor Day sale.
Us on tour. We're going to be in Duluth, Georgia, outside of Atlanta, Jacksonville, Florida, Tempe, Arizona, and Burbank, California. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. This is a headline from Reuters. Mark Zuckerberg said Biden administration pressured Meta, which is the new name for Facebook, to censor COVID-19 content. And boy, somebody hacked into the Zuckerbot. That's all I can say. He's gone wrong. I mean, he might be autistic, but he's not stupid. He's getting ahead of what has been determined to be a monumental crash and backlash for a failed global attempt. So let me just tell you. So this is how Reuters reported this story. Chris, it says Meta platform CEO Mark Zuckerberg said the Biden administration had pressured the company to censor. I like how they put censor in quotes. To censor COVID-19 content during the pandemic, apparently referring to White House requests to take down misinformation about the coronavirus and vaccines. Now, Reuters puts censor in quotes, but misinformation is not. That's kind of this is the lie, and that was the truth. That's exactly how Reuters is going to report that. And here's the letter. So he sent a letter to Jim Jordan in the Congress and Oversight Committee, and he said, this is directly from Zuckerberg. He said in 2021, senior officials from the Biden administration, including the White House, repeatedly our teams for months to censor certain COVID-19 content, including humor and satire. Expressed a lot of frustration with our teams when we didn't agree. Ultimately, it was our decision whether or not to take content down, and we own our decisions, including COVID-19 related changes we made to our enforcement in the wake of this pressure. I believe the pressure was wrong, he says. And I regret that we were not more outspoken about it. I also think we made some choices that, with the benefit of hindsight and new information, we wouldn't make today. Like I said to our teams at the time, I feel strongly that we should not compromise our content standards due to the pressure from any administration and either direction, and we are ready to push back if something like this happens again. So that's directly from him, and you have to wonder, okay, so why is he saying this now? And so I have a couple of ideas. One is that first of all, it would have been much more helpful had he said this a while ago, a couple months ago, before the decision in Missouri versus the Biden administration, and the court ruled incorrectly about that censorship. And if they would have had this to point to, hey, even the head of Meta says that they were being private, that would have maybe changed that outcome. But it's too late, so it's a little too late. But I think he's saying this because there must be a whistleblower coming out or something, or, he's got a lot of lobbyists, and lobbyists, they talk both ways, so maybe he's finding out that the Republicans in Congress are getting ready to do something to him. And so I don't know what it is, but it's fishy. Here, I have one more, let me read this one more thing. He says, in July 2021, President Joe Biden, a Democrat, said social media platforms like Facebook this is from Reuters, are killing people. I remember when he said that, for allowing misinformation about coronavirus vaccines to be posted on its platform. Others, like former White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki, the P silent because it's sexy, and Surgeon General Vivek Murthy publicly said the company was not doing enough to take down this information and was making it harder to fight the pandemic and save lives. Facebook said at the time it was taking aggressive steps to fight such misinformation. The Biden administration ultimately eased up on its criticism of Facebook, even as vaccine lies continued to spread on social media. That's Reuters saying that. And I just want to show you some of the lies that they're talking about that we're spreading. And son of a gun, guess who was spreading them?
The various shots that people are getting now cover that. You're okay. You're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations.
So that was a lie, and that was coming from the President of the United States, who was pressuring Facebook to censor people for telling lies about COVID. And Reuters also backs them up, saying there were lies. But they never say that Joe Biden, the President of the United States, was lying, because that was a lie. Here's some more.
Our data from the CDC today suggests, that vaccinated people do not carry the virus, don't get sick, and that it's not just in the clinical trials, but it's also in real-world data.
Now that was a lie, and she knew it was a lie at the time. The data didn't change. That was always a lie. And then here's our number one liar and promoter of fake news. It's Rachel Maddow.
We know that the vaccines work well enough that the virus stops with every vaccinated person. A vaccinated person gets exposed to the virus does not infect them, the virus cannot then use that person to go anywhere else.
So those were all lies. So none of those got censored on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. None of those lies ever got censored, ever. What got censored was the truth. The truth of where the virus came from. It came from a lab in Wuhan. That got censored. You were called a white supremacist. They called everybody a white supremacist. Who said that?
He said he seems unhinged, but not out of will. No, that's who he is, bro. He always seems like he's unhinged. But no, I haven't heard anything from him in a couple days. Now I gotta check him out. I seriously have to go grab something to eat, bro. I didn't finish my lunch. I'm gonna just grab my lunch real quick and just finish eating that. I feel like I'm about to fucking starve, bro. I done hit that fucking bong 2 times, like boop. But Jimmy Dore be on it too, yo. Jimmy Dore know his shit, man. said, if people just listen to somebody else that you don't agree with. And I like listening to the other side. People I don't agree with. That's how you can pinpoint all their lies and fallacies in their arguments, and then you can strengthen your argument and hopefully convince them that, hey, you're not right on everything. There are some things you're definitely totally wrong on. And you may convince me of some things that I'm wrong on. But you have to talk to people you don't agree with in order to figure those things out. And people hate listening to anybody else. And I hate this shit right here. Every time I post something like, oh, you listen to Fox News. Bitch, you don't know how rarely I ever listen to Fox News. I don't listen to Fox News. I listen to goddamn Russell Brand and fucking the Daily Wire and goddamn Jimmy Dore and motherfuckers like this. And anybody who Joe Rogan brings on this podcast. I said I was gonna go grab this food. Alright, here I go. I'm gonna go grab food now. Alright.
They said, no, it came from these dirty Chinese people and their wet markets, which is more racist. Saying it came from a lab that was funded by Fauci, by the way, illegally through a CIA cutout called EcoHealth Alliance. And then we now know that they all lied to cover that up. Because Matt Orfala's great reporting showed us that. Then they lied about herd immunity, they lied about natural immunity, they lied about mask, lied about transmission, contraction. There wasn't side effects, adverse events. There wasn't a thing they didn't lie about. And still to this day, it's hard to find people who are pissed off about it besides me. So what do you think? Why do you think Mark Zuckerberg now, even though we're still being censored, you were censored, my Facebook page just yesterday, they kicked me off Facebook. My Jimmy Dore Show Facebook page, they kicked me off. But then they just let us on this morning for some reason. They go, hey, we're going to let you back on. But what do you think is the timing, or what do you
I can't guess on why Zuckerberg did it. However, I mean, it's money. I mean, let's be clear. These pharmaceutical corporations made billions, and of course, the way that they increase their profit is to make everyone afraid, and it worked. And of course they lied. I mean, the big one was. I mean, I was teaching in the prison system, so, and we had COVID running rampant in the prison, and I remember, if you get it, you can't transmit it. Remember that one?
Yeah, remember that?
It turns out that if you get it, you can, what do they call it? You can be a kind of silent carrier,
Asymptomatic.
Asymptomatic, but you still spread it. I mean, yeah, you're right, but of course, it was a big campaign to make sure everybody, that they sold vaccines. And of course, a lot of the money was made. They were given federal funds in order to create the vaccine. I mean, there was you know this so much better than I do, but I mean, there was one company that just made insane amounts of money.
So that would be Pfizer and Moderna.
Moderna, and Pfizer, yeah. So, I mean, it's.
They created.
I don't know. I don't know why Zuckerberg's calling it out. It's interesting, but you're right. There's probably something going on.
They created a panic over a virus with a 99.5% survivability rate, which they lied and kept saying was 3 to 5% death rate. That was never true. It was only deadly to people who were had comorbidities, and the average age of death from COVID is 82 years old. In fact, after Bill Gates sold his stock in Pfizer, which he bought it for $50 million, he sold it for $500 million. And as soon as he sold it, he started trashing the vaccine. He said, well, you know, COVID doesn't have a high fatality rate, which it doesn't, and that it was kind of like the flu, but a little different. That's right out of Bill Gates' mouth, right after he sold his stock, and he said the vaccine doesn't stop transmission. It doesn't really do a good job. We got to get. There's a lot of problems with it. That's after he made his $500 million. So the 82 years old is the average age, and Bill Gates then said, well, it's a lot like the flu. Well, I'm pretty sure that's very much like the flu. And kids, they mandated children. They're still mandating in some places that college kids have to take it. It was never a threat to children. Children had a bigger threat of dying from the flu than they ever had of COVID, and that comes right from the New York Times, at New York Magazine, right? So, but they never print that on the front page, and it always gets buried, just like Chomsky taught us. But anyway, it's the biggest outrage of my life. To me, it's a bigger story than the Iraq War. It's a bigger story than anything, because more people died from COVID. And if they actually died from the virus the way the establishment wants us to believe, then Dr. Fauci is a bigger killer than Hitler, because he's the one who funded that virus, right? That came from gain of function. Now even the FBI agrees it came from gain of function, that they did at Wuhan, which Barack Obama did a pause on. And he funded it through a CIA cutout through EcoHealth Alliance, and he lied to Congress twice when he was asked if he was funding that by Rand Paul. He lied twice, but of course there's never a price to pay when you're lying at the behest of the establishment. There's only a price to pay if you don't lie for the establishment. So I think COVID was, and it's amazing to me how many people missed the story, and it fell on people like me and Joe Rogan, and who I'm not equipped to handle these stories, but no one else is doing it. There was a guy named Dr. John Campbell who's still on YouTube, and he at first bought into it like me. I was scared to death. I got double vaxxed. They got me, and then as soon as I got vaccine injured, a doctor started treating me, and he gave me ivermectin, and I go, hey, I don't want that horse dewormer. And then he's the one who informed me. He said, Jimmy, this is a miracle drug. They were looking at it to cure cancer before COVID, and it's won the Nobel Prize for human medicine. And the reason why they're doing that is because it's cheap. You can get it for pennies, and they want you to do this. The same thing they did during AIDS. Fauci did the same thing. It's the same playbook, and that woke me up. And boy, did I lose a lot of friends. If you have information, just like you say, if you're on there's no price to pay. You're not on a moral crusade, and that's certainly a big price to pay. I'm still being slandered as an anti-vaxxer and an anti-science and a grifter for telling the truth about COVID. There's not one thing I got wrong about it. And, the idea that, Chris Cuomo will now say, well, I didn't know, we didn't know. No, you didn't want to know. Somehow I knew how to get Dr. Robert Malone, the guy who invented the mRNA vaccine technology. I got him on my show. I was able to get the leading cardiologist in the country, Dr. Robert McCullough, on my show. I was able to get Mel Horta from the UK. I was able to get all these people on my show, but somehow Chris Cuomo didn't have that. So that's all lies. Those people didn't tell you the truth because they were being paid not to tell you the truth. And then when Chris Cuomo got vaccine injured, all of a sudden now he wants to tell you the truth. Okay. All right, that's enough of my soapbox.
Well, just to say, look, all of these pharmaceuticals, they're some of the biggest advertisers that the media have. I mean, so of course they're going to dance to the tune that they play. They're not going to alienate those pharmaceutical companies. They depend on them, especially since the news media is in free fall in terms of advertising, of course.
So I would
which is so true, because once again, I think this is why they gotta put ads on fucking the streaming services like Netflix. If my understanding is the whole basis of Netflix is so that you can go directly to the content without the advertisements. That's why you're paying for the streaming service. The streaming service makes its revenue off of subscriptions, and therefore it doesn't need advertisements. But now, the television networks and news and media, like, nobody don't hardly watch that shit. And like I said, that shit in free fall. So now they trying to get their ads wherever they can get them at. So they're desperate for airtime and slots and everything everywhere. I say the first time I saw an ad on Netflix, I was like, yeah, these bitches desperate. They desperate. They know nobody don't watch TV no more. They know nobody don't watch the TV no more. If you had enough revenue coming from your advertisements and commercials on network television, you wouldn't have to branch out and go to the streaming services. Yo, shit changing so fast, so fast, yo. Right. I really feel like tangible paper, like magazines and newspapers, those shits are going to be fastly gone. For the most part, there always would be, like, you know, that traditional place that just won't leave, but I feel like I need a fucking toothpick. I think newspapers and magazines are on their way out. And then I think the next thing is network television. I think they're going to have to redesign this thing and put out a different model other than just providing you their own streaming service like HBO Max or Disney Plus or whatever. Because I really think this, network TV is definitely on its way out. That's why I'm surprised, like, motherfuckers still watch shit like The View and all these other weird ass daytime talk shows.
And the show that Anderson Cooper makes $12 million a year, and $9 million of it comes from Big Pharma. So then Big Pharma funded fact-checking outlets, fact-check that, and they say that's fake news, that we're going to debunk it. And the way they said, they pretended I said that it was a secret payment. No secret payment. I never said it was a secret payment. I'm saying that $9 million of his $12 million salary comes from Big Pharma. So you can't, anything with fact check in it is garbage. There's a billionaire money somewhere funding that fact check organization, and it's got a political agenda, and it's got nothing to do with informing the public. Interest rates have dropped, and right now is the perfect time to call the people over at American Financing. They're a family-owned company that is helping people just like you create meaningful savings every month. They are salary-based mortgage consultants, and they look at your full financial picture, all of your debts, including those frustrating credit card balances where you're paying upwards of 20 and 30% in interest payments every month, and they work with you to create a loan program where they wipe that all out. And in some cases, they have some cash left over to create some emergency savings. American Financing is a true partner in helping you and your family save money. They never charge any upfront or hidden fees. It costs you absolutely nothing to find out how much you can save. Their average customer is saving over $800 a month. And if you start today, you may delay 2 mortgage payments. So what do? You call 888-804-0303. That's 888-804-0303. Or visit AmericanFinancing.net/Jimmy. Hey, come see us on tour. We're going to be in Duluth, Georgia, outside of Atlanta, Jacksonville, Florida, Tempe, Arizona, and Burbank, California. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.
Michaela Capio hasn't done much in Northeast Pennsylvania.
I graduated from Scranton Preparatory School.
But we can judge her by the company she keeps. She's worked for a candidate who supports a national abortion ban without exception. She formed a university chapter of an extremist group. And she's funded by a Philly billionaire who wants to defund our schools by sending millions in taxpayer money to private schools. What we know about Michaela Capio is that we can't trust her.
Want to keep your hairline where it is? Through Hims.com, you can explore a range of treatments that work best for you, so you can grow thicker and fuller hair in just 3 to 6 months. Get ahead now to keep the hair you love. Get started today at Hims.com.
Trusting you with whatever it is, and while they're telling you their problem, you realize that it's boring.
Don't do that. Don't be good people right now. We've all had somebody come to us, a brother, a sister, an aunt, someone has come to us, and you, as they're telling you their problem, you're like, I don't give a shit about any of this. Like, why are they even telling me? I can't even help. What are they doing? It's ruining my Saturday. So sometimes someone that you love very, very much, deeply, comes to you with something serious to them that's a real problem, and it's boring. But somehow, overhearing a stranger's problem is always fascinating. I'll give you some examples. So a couple weeks ago, I was on the bus because life ain't going the way you think, right? And so I was on the bus, you know, the people's limousine, right? And I was on the bus and I was holding the rail, and another guy next to me was holding the rail, but he had his phone like this, right? Like tucked into his arm. And he was just like, I don't know what to do. All right? I do not know what to do. She keep fucking dudes on Facebook Marketplace.
Reckless policies from Washington are hurting Pennsylvania families. We need Rob Bresnahan to end it. Rob knows we need common sense solutions, and he's got a plan to deliver. He'll secure the border to end the flow of fentanyl, tackle skyrocketing utility bills by unleashing Pennsylvania energy, and lower out-of-control inflation so our families can finally make ends meet. Washington politicians can't get the job done. Let's send a champion who will. Vote Rob Bresnahan for Congress.
Presents magically made fudge stripes. Now that's magic. Keebler, magic is here.
Yes, yes. I'm in. Tell me all. Because this man's on his phone like, I can't even trust her to go get a lamp. A couple days later, I was also on the bus because once again, life could be better, right? We'll get there, but until then, community Uber, right? And as I got on, I sat down next to this guy. Now, this guy is being louder, out loud, than my AirPods can get in my ear. So I don't even feel like I'm eavesdropping now. He offering this up to the class, okay?
And so he's putting his phone down when I sat down next to him, but he calls somebody else. And basically, he calls this next person and tells them that the person he just got off the phone with was a woman who he had been hooking up with, who just called him to tell him that she was pregnant and she was keeping the baby. All right? And I don't know the best place, but the bus is one of the worst places to find out you're gonna be a father, all right? The bus is top 3 bad places to find out you're gonna be a daddy, okay? It goes jail, the toilet, the bus, right? And so this man is like, talking on the phone, and then he goes, yeah, it's wild because we didn't even have sex this year. And I was like, oh no. He's gonna be a father. And they kept talking and they kept talking. Now I can't hear the other person on the other side of the line or anything, but I can just hear the like I can just hear, I can hear that noise is happening, right? And so then they must have asked the question that was on my mind, which was, when was the last time y'all slept together? And it was like, yeah, I haven't even seen her, or like, we haven't hooked up since like August of last year. And I was like, uh-oh. He's not about to be a father. Like, oh. Fellas, we gotta start learning at least a little bit about women's bodies. If nothing else, so we can't get fleeced like this. Like, this is... Because this man said, without stuttering, he was like, yeah, she's about 10 months along, right? I was like... No. And then they kept talking, they realized he actually did get the math wrong, right? The math was wrong. It was 11 months. And I was like, okay, so when do I step in now as a stranger, right? Like, when do I step up and step in to help? Because I've been missed my stop. I missed my stop.
Liberty Mutual customized my car insurance, and I saved hundreds. With all the money I saved, I thought I'd buy stilts. Being so tall definitely has its advantages.
Whoa.
Here you go, kiddo.
Thanks. I'm ready to go?
Yep. There it is. There it is. There we go. I guess it also has some disadvantages.
Yes, it does.
Only pay for what you need. Liberty, 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 liberty.
Big and sleep better during the Labor Day mattress sale at Raymore and Flanagan. Or finance your new mattress for as little as $15 a month with no interest for 72 months. Grab these deals while they last during Raymore and Flanagan's Labor Day mattress sale.
I missed my stop at 10 months, right? And so I'm at least 11 minutes that way, right? And so finally, I leaned over to him. I was like, hey, bro, I couldn't help but hear, we all heard, I couldn't help but hear, and I have good news, I have bad news. The good news is you're not about to be a father. The bad news is you should maybe never be a father. You also overhear wild stuff like the heat changes people for real. Like there are things people do in the heat that they would not do otherwise. You know, Like I was walking my dog and in the background, like way down the street on the corner, I heard a little kid get into a fight with the ice cream man. Because once again, I'm walking my dog and just in the distance I hear, "Nigga, it's a nickel." Even my dog was curious. Like, my dog and I both turned around. And the ice cream man was like, "I don't care what it is, you short, little man." And this kid looked up, I don't know how old he was, looked up at the ice cream man, head can't reach the counter, and goes, "Your dick is short, I want my chocolate." How did we get here? How did these two individuals come together in this moment? Because one, who is this kid? But two, what happens in your life where you become an ice cream man that's really here to nickel and dime these kids? Like, that's really here to like actually buy actual nickels and dimes. Who says to themselves, "You know what I love? Passing out joy. But you know who needs to be taken down a peg? These children." Okay. I'm trying to figure out what type of friend I am. You know, I think I'm a good friend to a certain degree. I feel like if I discover for myself the type of friend that I am, I'll be a better version of that friend to everybody, all right? Because I'll know my limits, I'll know what I'm willing to do, what I'm not, and everything. And I'm quickly realizing that I am not the advice friend. Don't come to me. Truly, don't come to me at all, because my advice to you will be directly related to how your problem affects me. I'm trying to let everybody know that now, okay? Because you know, you never know. Sometimes you meet someone at the show, y'all become friends in real life, and then maybe they have a problem and they come to me, they're like, "Josh, what should I do?" I'm telling you right now, I am not objective. I'm not the one, right? Like, for instance, I have a lot of friends that are getting married this summer into the fall, right? So the big wedding season and everything. And so a couple of my friends have come to me, right? And you just need to know, if you're having troubles are normal, right? People get cold feet, people fight a lot leading up to a wedding, the stress, people's families sometimes don't get along, that's stress. You know what I mean? Like, all of it is normal. But if you come to me, my advice to you will be directly correlated to if I already bought the gift. Because I had a friend come to me, his wedding was about, 2 weeks out, he was devastated and everything, and he was a good friend, so I had already bought his gift off the registry. It was a Vitamix 3500, so it was, yes. See, exactly, yes. 100%, yes. And so I'd already got that Vitamix, and anytime a relationship seems shaky, I look up the return policy just in case. And this particular model, they didn't carry anymore. So he comes to me and he's upset and everything, going on, and I'm just looking at the receipt. And so finally, he looking at me to say something. I was like, "Dog, you love her. Like, see your moon, your stars, all that stuff. Like,
Everybody cheat, okay? She gonna stop probably. I had a different friend come to me, and this friend, the wedding was about what, like 2 days, yeah, like two days out, and my man comes to me, and his problem was very specific, deeply specific. Basically, his fiance and the wedding planner had planned out the whole wedding, pretty much top to bottom. They weren't really asking him for much, but then he was offering up. He was like, is there anything that you need me to do that I can take off your plate? She was like, no, we got it. And he was like, well, there's got to be something, like, you know, I want to be involved somehow. And so then she told him that basically they had everything planned down to a T, but he could pick the place mat at the reception, right? Like the little place that, as long as it was in line with the color theme, he could pick that. And so then my buddy poured over for like several days all these like little different, you couldn't even tell the difference between all these different placemats and stuff, and was like trying to make a good decision on the right one and everything. And he finally picked one, and basically it seems like maybe she didn't like it. She had the wedding planner change it last minute, and then they didn't really talk about it. So his feelings were kind of hurt because he was like, oh, that was my one thing, and I took some real pride in doing it, and she didn't say anything to me. And it was a destination wedding, and I hadn't bought my ticket yet. I hadn't bought my ticket, and I hadn't got a gift yet. And so he was telling me about it, and I was like, I wouldn't take that if I was you, dog. Like, for real. Sometimes you gotta put your foot down, all right? I've been watching some of the, like, older people in my life and everything, and it's crazy. My friend, his grandparents were together until his granddad passed away. And his granddad probably passed away at like 85 or something like that. But him and his grandmother got married young. So they were together for like 62 years or something like that. It was crazy. And people always want to know the sort of secrets to staying together and having that sort of relationship, that bond. And he said that his grandma basically summed it all up very quickly. You know, she was like, if you want to be with somebody for the rest of your life, you have to know and accept that the first year is lust. The next 10 years are love. And everything else after that is spite.
The NFL season will be back before you know it. Get NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV and watch every game every Sunday, all in one place. Sign up today. Terms and embargoes apply.
Thicker, fuller hair starts with Hims. Discover sprays, chews, and serums made with clinically proven ingredients to stop hair loss, regrow hair, or do both. At Hims.com, answer a few questions online, and regrow your hair in 3 to 6 months. Join millions of satisfied Hims customers and get your confidence back. Regrow your hair with doctor-trusted treatments. Get started today at Hims.com.
And she said spite without missing a beat. Like she's like, that's a secret ingredient. Like every day you wake up and you're like, we go to war. And basically, she tells a story about how the night
night that his grandpa passed away, they had this routine where his granddad pretty much wouldn't even sleep in the bed anymore. He would sleep in his chair that could recline like his lazy boy, and then he would be falling asleep watching TV or something like that. But on that night, he went to bed with his grandma, and he passed away in his sleep, which is how a lot of people want to go. It's very peaceful, you know, next to somebody you love. And then he wasn't there, but his mom was. And his mom said that when she woke up, she was getting ready and like making breakfast and stuff, and she heard his grandma from the room. And what she heard wasn't like some blood-curdling scream or some like cry out or anything. She said she just heard, "Oh!" What? Ooh. And she apparently even said at the funeral that, you know, so many people were coming up to her and telling her how sweet it was that he went to make sure he was laying in bed with her the night that he passed instead of like in his chair or something. And she was like, ain't nothing sweet about it. He did that on purpose. He knew. No, he knew he was gonna die that night. And he wanted to put his cold ass feet on me one more time. Because they were cold when they were cold when he was living, but they were cold, right? And at a certain point you get used to the cold, and then you turn around and he all. Just laying up there like. And I told him to take out that trash, and he didn't do it.
Kamala Harris supported decriminalizing illegal border crossings.
We're not going to treat people who are undocumented cross-border as criminals. That's correct. That is correct.
Kamala Harris is weak and dangerous on illegal immigration.
Save big and sleep better during the Labor Day mattress sale at Raymore and Flanagan. Or finance
Now
your
you
new
wanna build
mattress
a
for as
goddamn
little as
wall.
$15 a
Man,
month
that
with
is
no
true.
interest for 72 months. Grab these deals while they last during Raymore and Flanagan's Labor Day mattress sale.
Man, I think I'm out of here, guys. I've been doing some short hours these days, but starting to get a little bit of detail in that scarf. There's a lot to this damn thing. But we're trying our best. And we'll do it again tomorrow. Shit. try it one more game tomorrow. Broskies, I show appreciate y'all chilling with me in the studio the other day, checking out the progress on the paints. Yeah, peace, fam. I'll get with you tomorrow afternoon, man. Same bat time, same bat channel. Bro, I hope you enjoy your evening, dog. We out here.